Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio as we come to you live from our studio in New Jersey in the United States. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and I'm so happy that you're here with us today on our very special show, which is your story, your grief, your journey. We've got a fabulous guest, and before we bring her out, let's welcome the star of our show. It's Mr. Doug Lawrence. Welcome, Doug. Come on out. Hello.
Hello, and hello to our listening and viewing audience across the globe. Thank you for taking time today to join us, and you're in for a treat because we do indeed, as Dr. JACALYN had said, we do have a very exciting guest that we're going to share with you, and hopefully you'll be able to take something away from our conversation today. So welcome and thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Doug. Before we bring out the doctor who's going to join us very soon, please tell us about your work as an international certified mentor. What do you do and who do you help?
So as an international certified mentor, I work with organizations. I do leadership mentoring. I do a number of different ones, but the one particular pathway that I seem to be heading down more frequently than not is mentoring and mental health and helping people deal with various stages of mental health, which of course grief is considered to be part of it. And so from a mentoring perspective, I work with people in all those capacities, as well as the implementation of mentoring programs in organizations, which has a mental health spin to it as well.
Fantastic, Doug. Please continue the great work that you're doing. You're really changing the lives of so many people.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know, we have a guest today who has a very interesting background, and I'm very excited to hear her story. She's a food scientist. How cool is that? A food scientist and a leadership coach. She's also joining us from Canada, and her name is Dr. RANA Mustafa. Let's welcome her to the program. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, it's nice to have you today. Thank you so much for joining us. So I know that the story you're going to share today, really, it's like an onion. It has so many parts to it. And it's a personal journey as well as a professional journey. So where would you like to start, Doctor? Would you like to start with the leadership coach, the food scientist, or your personal story?
Well, in fact, they are all connected. Maybe we can start by the last one, which is the leadership coach, and what brought me to this position now while I am on breast cancer treatment.
Yes, absolutely. Please go ahead and share your story.
Yeah, so unfortunately, last year on Mother's Day, I learned that I have breast cancer. And prior to that, I was very busy running from meeting to meeting, meeting with researchers, business owner, stakeholders to arrange and to help do research for food security. And the news came, it shocked me, it hit me very hard. I'm a professional woman. I have a PhD in food science. I was university professor. So as a professional woman, I felt that the pain was very, very high. I couldn't even tolerate it, like the news to you have cancer, you need to stay home, chemotherapy, surgery, etc. All these information was overwhelming. And then, of course, I will the stage, denial, and you think about it. What can you do? Am I going to be depressed, or I wanna go back to life in a different way? And this is where I started thinking about myself and my journey in the past and how I survived the war in Syria and came to Canada. And at the end, I decided that if I still have a few years to live, I want to give as much as I can. I want to inspire as many as I can and live every day as if it's the first day of my life with all the excitement and the joy. So I did the leadership coaching training. Some of that training was while I'm in the hospital, but I did that. I started meeting with people, coaching people, connecting with people, and in fact, coaching was part of my emotional healing, and that I'm very happy that I did that. Many people sees me as inspiring them. Many of women who I am connected to nowadays, and they are also on cancer treatment, they see that as an inspirational story, and I want to continue that.
Doctor, thank you so much for sharing your story. I feel very emotional just hearing it. And it takes someone like you with that incredible courage to come forward. And it's amazing. You get this diagnosis, and you're obviously, anyone is a woman who can understand, even men can experience it as well. But the worst news you could possibly get at that moment, and you still have to soldier through. And look at you creating new opportunities to help people. It's really, I applaud you.
Thank you.
It's incredible. So you're in the hospital, you're getting treatment, and you start to have ideas about how you can put some things together for a new business. Tell us a little bit more about that, please.
Yeah. So, I want to share a little story with you about moments where I was really weak. I was crying. I was super sad. I met one of my friends and I was very sad and crying. I said, I cannot handle it. I cannot be at the hospital. I cannot be at home. I just want to give up. And she looked at me and she said, Rana, but you don't have right to do so. You were always inspiring us, because I shared many stories how I survived the war in Syria. So they knew me. They knew my strength. So she looked at me, she said, I have the same issues like you, but I am not courageous enough to inspire others. Please help us get inspired. And that was a call. I think, like, that was something that triggered me. Like, I said, you know what, you are right. So what happened that I started, as I mentioned, I contacted someone, a company, to do my leadership training. I started reaching out to people, communicating with people. Thank God that we have that online environment. Thank God that we have technology, because when there are so many moments where I cannot see myself because I look, cancer, with chemotherapy. I cannot see because treatment affected my vision. I cannot walk, I cannot go, but I still have voice to text. I still have a lot of technologies that I use to do my training, my online training, to talk with people and start this business idea. Of course, I did not do what I did alone. I have a wonderful and supportive partner. I had friends who I reached out to them. I was, I was, I think I was courageous enough to say, you know what, today it's not my best day. And I wanted just to cry, and it's okay. The one thing that I tried to notice, that when I am not feeling good, how long I allow myself to do so. What are the resources that I can use in order to help me to go back and then continue what I'm doing? So what I want to do within my business is to help science professionals to build their personal brand, improve their professional skills, and navigate life challenges. I know that all of us face challenges. However, for science professionals, for highly qualified people, they feel more pressure on them when life hits them or through challenges at them. Because I personally, as a woman from the Middle East, I spent the majority of my life going to school and studying while other people were partying. So when I was sick, I was asking myself, like, what was the point of me spending my life in education if I am now in that position? However, I discovered again my life purpose. But this is my life purpose, to be here to help others live the life that they want.
Absolutely. I could listen to you all day. You are truly inspirational. Doug?
Exactly. And for me, that, I'm just thinking of how resilient you've become because of all the experiences you've had. You've you've hit a place in your life where having coping mechanisms and coping skills is what's going to help you get, to be able to go further. And you've done that. You've been able to do that. And I take my hat off to you. God bless you for doing what you're doing. And the fact that you're sharing your message with so many others, it's not only, like you said, therapeutic for you, but think of how therapeutic it is for others.
Absolutely. In fact, at the beginning of my treatment, I received a card. They wrote on it, don't hesitate to share your story. Because one day, your story, I'm sorry, will be the survival plan for other people. And this is why I want to share my story. People who are facing life challenges, they are not alone. The only thing they need to do is reach out and ask for help, because there are so many people who love to help, but we need to be open to share our story.
That's so true that, you can, and sort of the analogy I always use is I can stay in the closet and just try to bury and suppress all those thoughts and feelings, or I can open the door and reach out and say, I need help. I need somebody to help me navigate all the stuff that's going on with me, because I don't think I deserve this. I think I deserve better, but I've been, the good Lord has decided that I need to, here's a challenge that I need you to step up and be able to deal with. And by doing so, think of the example that you set for others to follow in your footsteps.
Absolutely. And this vulnerability, when we share it with others, it's not weakness. It builds trust. It's sign of strength to me, and it allow others to reach out and seek for help. And this is why I started sharing my story, because this is how other people will feel more comfortable to reach out and ask for help. And we all need others. Like, I'm not a superhero. When people say, oh, you are very strong, I say, no, I'm not strong. I'm just using the resources that I have around me. I have friends, I have community support, I have people like you supporting me. I am reaching out to people, and people are helping me, and I want to help others.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Question I have for you is, I imagine during this journey, I can only think there must have been some level of fear. I know last week I went for a mammogram and just pulling into the parking lot and then seeing the faces on the women, knowing that some of us are going to walk out of there with some bad news. How did you manage that fear from becoming so overwhelming that you're literally unable to do anything?
Well, I can also add to that fear the waiting time, right? So you go to the clinic, you do whatever scanning they ask you to do, and you need to wait. Maybe for us here, some scanning, you need to wait for 1 month to get the result back. How do we manage our fear and anxiety during that waiting time? And when you wait, time looks really very long compared to normal life when you are happy. I personally think that every one of us we all have our own coping mechanism. We need to know which one works for us. And that starts by self-awareness. To me, I know that keeping my brain busy and focused on things that I like make me manage the fear and anxiety because I'm doing something that I like. And this is exactly why I started this business as a professional coach. I have been doing coaching, mentorship, consulting for the last 20 years through my job. But I wanted to be a professional coach. I wanted to do something different that distracts my mind and my focus will be on something different other than my illness and waiting for the result. Some people, maybe they have other techniques like going every single day to the gym or traveling or let's say reading or painting or learning a new language, whatever is the technique, no matter what you choose, all of those, what you choose is okay. The most important thing is to ask ourselves, what works for us? What do I like to do? And during this very challenging time, maybe it's the opportunity to do what we never have the time to do it. So this is how I manage, in fact, my how I manage the fear and anxiety by, of course, I spend time reading and asking myself, what do I want to do? What makes me happy? I explored so many things from painting on little rocks to writing to reading to watching TVs until I discovered that no, this is exactly what I like and this is exactly what I want to focus my energy on. And it helped me tremendously in managing my fear, my anxiety, my chemotherapy treatment, everything.
Wow. That is just so powerful. Doctor, would you say that as a result of the news that you got, you started living like every day could be the last one instead of I'll put this off till then? And you said, I'm going to take it, seize the moment now.
Well, absolutely. But I'm living every day, not as if it's the last day of my life. You know why? Because sometimes when we don't have a lot of things that we feel fear. Oh, we don't have enough time. We feel that anxiety and fear. I have the opposite thought. I want to live every single day as if it's the first day of my life. Remember, if we start dating, how we feel the first day. If you go to start a new job, or if you do anything new, the first day is full of excitement, of curiosity. You ask questions, you are excited, happy, curious. This is exactly I want to live. Asking those questions, taking time to live the day as it is. If it's sometimes I'm feeling overwhelmed with emotions, that's okay. So living every day as if it's the first day in my life.
Wow. I'm speechless, and that's not normal. You know, what's I like the idea of living every day as though it's the first day. That has a more positive spin to it. It's a positive spin, but it also gives you a different outlook on life in general. And you know, I know from having looked at your bio and that you've come from living living in a war torn country, and that's got to have given you some coping mechanisms as well that may or may not have served you with dealing with breast cancer.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I developed during the war when I was in Syria. I lived 5 years. During the war, I lost my apartment, everything in it. I lost my money. Financially, we were really very broke because of the war. Lost friends, lost family members. So the loss was huge. And you have only two options, either to survive or to go into mental health issues and depression. Something that you don't know about me that I didn't mention that when I was doing my study for the food science, doing my PhD, I did that in France. And due to life circumstances, I was unable to keep my daughter, who was 1 year when I started my PhD. I couldn't have her with me. So I spent 5 years living without my daughter, seeing her once a year. It was super hard on me. I struggled with anxiety, with depression. It was super hard on me. If you ask me now why you stayed that long in France, why didn't you go back to Syria? I can tell you, my family said, you are the hope of this family. You are the inspiration of other women in the community. You have that chance to be a professor. We don't. We will support you. Just handle it. So when I came back to Syria, I developed, of course, throughout these 5 years, I developed so many coping strategies. And during the war, I was exploring one by one. My kids used to play music before the war. Music, for some instruments, need electricity. We don't have electricity during the war. Very few hours, so maybe 2 to 3 hours during the day we have electricity. So what I developed at that time was alternative thinking. So we choose instruments that do not require electricity. Activities that we can do without the need to go outside of our home, because we cannot. And those, as you see, when you have life challenges, take it as an opportunity to grow and to increase your resiliency, because every time you will handle more. It's like going to the gym. If you go to the gym to build muscles, you can, for example, you can lift 10 kilogram of weight. The first few months, you will increase it, and you will increase it gradually. And this is how we build our resiliency. And this is how I believe that alternative thinking. I am someone who loves playing tennis. I used to play tennis, and I have my breast cancer on my right side. So due to surgery, I cannot use my right hand to play tennis. But what I tried to do is to find an alternative to tennis. So I started playing table tennis. So those are examples. Just look for solutions, for new ideas, be creative, be curious, ask. Those all we can, by that we can develop coping mechanism that works for us.
I wish we could clone you because It amazes me, and I think the three of us here we're all positive people. We're all about helping other people. What is the difference between the experience that you're having and have had, doctor, versus someone who could have been in that very hospital wing, maybe in the next room or down the hall, having a completely different perspective and outlook?
Uh, I think it's all about our mindset. It starts by the mindset, self-awareness, and it's something that we need to work on it on daily basis. Like if you live your life without those deep thought, connecting with people, knowing people's stories, you think when something happens to you, you think that you are like, why me? You ask that question, why me? And it's very depressed question. Like we get more anxiety because of that. Why me? Why do I need to have cancer and lose my hair and wear wig, for example? Why do I need that? I love my hair. I love my body. I love my life. So those questions are so hard on us to answer. And due to those circumstances, it's so easy to go like to have mental health issues and to have further issues. And even the response, like it's very well known that the response to treatment to any illness is really connected to our mindset. So what to do is just be connected to other people in when we are happy and when we are sick, when we are sad. And by talking to people, by developing that self-awareness, by developing that positive mindset, we can navigate change. I'm not saying that and ignoring that we will have days where we feel so weak, but there is difference between moments of weakness, of sadness, and days and years of sadness.
I love that. I love that. I know for me, I will give myself 10 minutes to freak out. And then that's the end. Let's find a solution. It's so important to take the emotions out of it, whatever it is you're going through, and find a solution. That's what I think. And doctor, you're providing solutions. You're helping people find their solutions, aren't you?
Absolutely. And this is why, in fact, through my business, I am looking to reach out as many people as possible, helping as many people as possible everywhere. And I was super happy and grateful because I started this business. And I can share a little story, final story, that if I am doing my cancer treatment and I hear that someone needs something, I will just think like, you know what? I can't help anyone. Like I personally, I need help. But because my focus was on that leadership skill training, navigating change. So when the earthquake happened in Syria and Turkey, what I did, I have a Facebook page and a group for all students who I taught when I was in Syria for more than 10 years. I wrote to them. I said, I am going to provide free training for you. So every one of you can support your family. And they were super happy. They met with me. We did the training. It was over a month. They were super excited and happy. They did not know that I have cancer. I didn't want to share that with them at the time because they have so many challenges. They had troubles. They were sad and they had fear. But they were so happy that someone was able to help them. And I was super grateful and happy that, you know what, because of this business, I was able to have my mindset on the right place and contact them and support them. So see, we can do things even though when we are in our weakest point in our life.
It's very true. I'd love to have you share with our audience, people who are very interested in working with you. What does that experience look like if they want to hire you and connect with you?
Absolutely. So people normally reach out to me to understand what they can do to navigate change, if there is any change in their life. Most of them highly qualified people. They, for example, they either they are in a job that they don't like, or they are transitioning to new chapter in their life. They have certain challenges. So what they reach out to me, we work together. We start by um, coaching sessions to help them start by that basic self-awareness. They know what they know. They know their skills, their strengths. Sometimes people think of themselves in a, I can say, in a negative way. So we work on that to shift this way of thinking from negative to positive, and then identify what they want to do in their life and how to get there. And we design together, we design a plan that works for every individual, and we work on that. So far, I don't provide group coaching. I am only, unless there is like, I'm only giving group coaching for women with a breast cancer, for people who have big challenges. And it's normally I provide one-to-one coaching because I know that we all need specialized and individualized plan in order to succeed in our life or find our true passion in life or our purpose in life.
Excellent.
So I'm I'm curious, obviously because of the sort of the name of this particular show, but I'm curious what impact grief has actually had on your life and your life experiences.
It's very interesting that you ask me this question. In fact, often we often think of a grief as when we lose someone we like. However, as someone who lived different experience, I know that grief happen when we lose, when we lose a relationship, we lose ourselves in any relationship. We lose our health, we lose our job, our community. When I am migrated to Canada, when I came here, I lost my community. I lost the connection with my friends. Yes, online is great, but it's different from meeting with someone and having coffee, hugging your family members. So grief is really throughout our life. We always lose things, even though when we win, we are always losing something. And of course, I learned throughout my life that you will never be a winner 100%. There are always something that you will lose in order to win something. And it's all about decisions. So my decision, for example, to leave Syria and come to Canada for a better opportunity for myself, my kids, to have safety. Of course, when I decided that, it's a decision. I thought about what are the things that I will lose, or what are the things that I will win. And it's all the same situation. Of course, when we grieve someone who we lose, like I lost family members, I lost students during the war, it's different. We look at that in different perspectives. But in general, I felt that grief, we can think of it as an opportunity to grow spiritually and explore, as I mentioned, how we can live those days that we still have as if they are our first days. Every day as if it's the first day in our life, because we don't know what's next.
And the title that we have today, which was yours, is Life Can Be So Unpredictable, Can It? And when you were sharing a story, even about losing your hair, that is so traumatic. That is a death, a grieving right there, because people see us and they make assumptions or they make judgments just by how we look, let alone how it makes us feel about how we look.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, and thank you for this question. You know, when I started my cancer journey, some of the people who want to support me, they are super good, super nice people. They love me, they want to support me, but the way that they talk to you, for example, oh, so you are a mom, you don't need your breast anymore, or oh, your hair, it will grow back, or you can wear a wig. Those kind of things. Like, in fact, the way that we support each other, we need to be very careful about the vocabulary that we use. I said to even though I'm a very confident person, but I don't say that I am very confident and I am okay with me losing my hair, which was exactly like this way. Absolutely not. And I said to my kids, you know what, especially at the beginning of my chemotherapy, I feel really sorry for you. I avoid like standing in front of the mirror and seeing myself, because I see someone else. I don't know who that person in the mirror, but you need to see me all the time. I really appreciate your courage, your empathy, everything you do. There is a program that I participated in and I love called Look Good, Feel Better. It's special for people with cancer, and they help women. They show a woman how they can manage their body change during cancer treatment in order to feel better, because it's true. Like, we cannot deny it. It's fact that how we look affects our mood, our perception of ourselves. And this is something that I really also think about, again, about that alternative thinking. So, for example, my partner and I were talking about it at the beginning of my chemotherapy. And he said, Rana, in all your life, you didn't like to cut your hair, because I love long hair. You didn't like to change dramatically the color of your hair. So let's explore options here. So what I did, in fact, bought different kind of wigs: short, long, blonde, red. And whenever I felt really sad and wow, oh my God, today I'm not feeling that great, I remember, you know what, let me try this look to see what happens. And that was one of my coping strategy, in fact.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sharing that. You can put on a wig and feel like a whole different person, right? You could
Absolutely.
sit in a restaurant, nobody knows who you are. It's amazing. I want to just mention the fact that in your title of food scientist, I was thinking to myself, you're really a life scientist as well, because you've had to go through things that most people, if they had to go through one of those things, would break them. And yet here you have so many things all piled up, and yet you're so successful and you're so humble.
Well, thank you so much. And you know what? Food scientist, it's something close to my heart. My passion since I was a little child is to help people. And I wanted to be a physician. But our financial situation when I was in grade 12 didn't allow my dad to send me to the Faculty of Medicine. So I was thinking, what can I do? And I noticed that, you know what? You can stay without electricity. You can stay without internet, even though at the time we didn't have internet. But you cannot stay without food. And food security is something very important. So this is why I to start by food science studies. This is why I'm working currently at the Global Institute for Food Security in Canada. And our mission is to have food or make food accessible for everyone. So food science and food safety, food security is something very close to my heart, because and again, during the war in Syria, people couldn't access internet, they couldn't leave their home, electricity, even water. but we still need food to survive. And this is why I love my work about food as well. And I love how my work in supporting researchers doing their research to improve food security all over the world.
It's incredible how many things you are doing and doing at the highest level, isn't it, Doug?
It sure is.
Oh, I am so you came here today to share your story. And I know we're just hitting a small part of it, but believe me, it's made a big impact.
Well, you know, I'm very grateful and thankful. And I think the reason why I'm here, because I met Doug and they said, hey, can we meet? Can we talk? And this is an example how we need to talk to people, be courageous enough, because people like to help each other. I'm so thankful that you gave me this opportunity to share my story. And I can guarantee you, there are millions of women out there. They grew up in similar situation and they need some inspiration. And I just want them to think, if I made it, you can make it.
Excellent. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doctor, I hope you'll come back and join us on another show.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, we really enjoyed you, and we will forward this as many times during the rest of this week. It'll replay many more times, and people can obviously watch it on our YouTube channel anytime they like. So thank you so much for being here. We do have your contact information. It's been up through the whole show, but what is the best way for people to get in touch with you, and who should reach out?
Yeah, Dr. Rana Mustafa on LinkedIn. They can reach out to me, read about my story. I write articles there. They get to read all about what I do. I want to end up by saying something, a quote that I love. Rumi wrote, "You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop. We are all powerful. We just need someone to help us identify those power, help us discover this power inside us in order to flourish and be the happiest or the best in our life."
I like that analogy. Thank you. All right. Once again, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here today. Thank you very much. And Doug, how can people reach out to you, and who would you like to contact you?
So I'm open to having conversations with pretty well everybody. And so they can reach me through my website at www.talentc.ca. So the word talent, small or letter C on the end.ca. You can also reach me through LinkedIn. You can direct message me there if you'd like. And if you just do a search on Doug Lawrence, I'm fairly easy to find in that particular case. And then finally, if you are comfortable doing so and you want to reach out via email, my email is in the banner, but it's doug.lawrence@talentc. So the word talent with the letter C on the end.ca. And I'd be more than delighted to have a conversation with you.
Thank you, Doug. And thank you, Doctor. It's been an honor being with the two of you today. And I truly appreciate the work that both of you are doing. Thank you. We will be right back with our next show, Stories of Hope, Inspiration, and Overcoming Adversity. Doctor, we look forward to having you on that show as well, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.